Report today. We got some interesting news from the front lines. This is pretty not what I do on the regular basis, but this is some news from the front lines. I'm not a mapping channel, just to clarify. If you guys want this news in detail, go to Weeb Union. He is probably the most unbiased mapper I've watched and I've heard of, so he's pretty unbiased, and he tells them as they are. He's not gonna lie because the Russians or the Ukrainians are losing. He's gonna tell them as they are. So first off, Ukrainian soldiers have been seen in a picture, as you can see here, by the sign of Ropatine, which means two things. First off, they have at least gotten to the entry point of Ropatine if they're not already there. Secondly, this means that they are out of range, if they're small, of small firearms, because no one's going to take a picture like selfie while being shot at, most likely if they have any brain in their head. So that means that the Russians have been pushed a bit further back into Ropatine, at least where firearms cannot be used to kill any men. So the Ukrainians, this is in the gray zone. This is what the Ukrainians have captured over this whole entire course of the counteroffensive. Counteroffensive seems to be picking up some speed, because this is not the only place the Ukrainians have gotten to. It's also, let me zoom out a bit, it's also over the Dnieper River. The Ukrainians have gotten this stronghold here. It's not really a stronghold, but it's the marshes of this place, so this wouldn't be a good place to put vehicles, so you're probably not going to see any type of big attack from here yet, because they would actually have to cross this river to get on this like solid ground where vehicles could be transported, and then you could see a large attack from possibly this bridge. Why they're not doing it from this bridge, because this bridge is so easy to target by Russian artillery. They're all Ukrainian soldiers here though, around, some say 80 special operatives. Now if we move over here, if I can zoom out, okay, this is great. You'll see that again, the Ukrainians have this area, and if marshes, you can't really put any solid vehicles in there because they'll just get stuck and then you're kind of screwed. However, here there's been fighting reported. This signs for fighting reported. So there's fighting reported here, and the Ukrainians managed to take these fields, and these fields beyond, they can now start putting vehicles and try to attack and take this town over here. So there's fighting reported here, and there's also reports of Ukrainians capturing places over here, however, and over here, but it's like these places that before the war, obviously, I doubt anybody's doing this now, would stay at for the summer because it's a nice location, stuff like that. However, there's not really any confirmed sightings of Ukrainians or anything like that, so I wouldn't just go to say that Ukrainians are here, but there is fighting reported here, and from if I'm remembering correctly, it was reported by Russian military bloggers that fighting was here. And now we go to Bakhmut, and let me just find it here on the map real quick. Okay, there it is, right in my face. This is Bakhmut. So obviously we all know it's been in, if you know anything about the Ukraine war, it's been in the news for a long time, and Ukraine is making their way very slowly but surely into Bakhmut, and Russians did push the Ukrainians back, but the Ukrainians have managed to recapture these fields that the Russians pushed the Ukrainians back on, and over here as well, and over here. Over here, the Russians have managed to capture a small number of fields, and over here, Russians have, there's been a fear of Russians doing some type of offensive. As you can see, I believe the pink is for new places they have captured, and this town, I cannot pronounce it, Slovkivka, okay, I'll not know the name, but that town there's been fighting reported there as well, and many have said Russia has taken it, but the Ukrainians, from what we know from today, have not pushed the Russians out, because both sides are firing artillery and drones into this town. So the Russians are kind of on the northern side, the Ukrainians are kind of on the southern side from the reports I've been hearing. So they're so battled over here. And Ukraine, this was yesterday, has or the day before yesterday, depending on when this video is released, ordered evacuation of some towns around this area. So not actually a lot going on in the front lines in the sense that of the Ukrainian counteroffensive. It has been going very, very slow lately, but now we know most likely where the Ukrainians are going to concentrate their force, because there's been pressure by the West and everything to, okay, you need to start making some serious gains. So most likely these 4 areas are going to be where you're going to see a lot of movement and a main push. We've also seen tanks in 2 Ukrainian tanks in fighting Russian tanks in a town over here, if I am remembering correctly, somewhere on these front lines. And I'll show you the video right there. Go to Weebunion to find out this information in more detail. Again, I am not a mapper, so I may not be covering it all in its full glory. So head over to Weebunion after you finish this video. However, the Ukrainians will probably be attacking from these 4 points because these are the points they've made any progress in. They've made some progress over here, but it was very little, and I think they've given up on it. Also, the Ukrainians may, this is something Weebunion pointed out, the Ukrainians may just push along all these and see which one is giving them more ground, then concentrate their forces there. Sorry for that. So there's a lot going on here. If you guys want to find out more info about the Ukrainian war, just subscribe to this YouTube channel, and things not about the Ukrainian war, just news. And I'll catch you guys later on the Arden Report.